Alright guys, let's get into the nitty-gritty of arranging this just roughly. Let's just do a rough layout of it and build it from there. So we have our first kind of minute of the track in already. What we're gonna do is take, well, all of our effects. I'm holding down shift and I'm clicking. So now you can see I've selected this entire block of effects. We control D to duplicate, and we move that over with our arrow keys over to right there, so that our reverse crash and our regular crash intersects on the bar line where something significant happens, like the breakdown where the drums drop out. So, roughly speaking, in the kind of music that Heart Hands Records is looking for right now generally, is we're gonna take probably actually everything, meaning our kick, clap, hi-hat. Our percussions aren't even on right now, so we really don't have to worry about those. In fact, we can take those and just move them up above the kick. And we're going to shift click and we're going to control duplicate over. And just trying to think, from 1 minute to about 1:15. Maybe we'll try to go to 1:30, so 30-second breakdown. That's just me duplicating, Control D. And we're going to have to experiment with this more later, but I think for now what we're going to do is drag our steel drums over, and we're going to duplicate those over. Shift click, Control D, Shift click, Control D, Shift click, Control D, Shift click, Control D. And what we're eventually, okay, so we have our breakdown. Probably what we'll do, and we're gonna have to see as this develops, but we'll shift click again. Pardon me, actually we can just use this because it hasn't been messed with any filters yet. And we're going to, actually, let's go like this. Click, mouse over, shift, click, control duplicate, and move that over right there. That way we have markers as to where we're going. Which, by the way, we can even do this. Let's move this guy out of the way. Right click, add locator, baseline, meaning that's where the baseline comes in. Right click, add locator, breakdown. Maybe somewhere around here, just for good measure. Build up. Right click, drop, if you will. Maybe you won't. Those were our vocals, we forgot about those. Probably put those here. So we'll give the bass line some time to come in. We'll give some vocals some time to come in. Let me just see something here because it looks like it's a little bit screwy. We're going to edit up the vocals and we're just going to copy and paste over like that. Shift click, duplicate, shift click. Actually, we're just going to do one. Shift click. Oh, if I can do it right, shift click, duplicate. Now that we have this laid out, even though this is the breakdown, understand that the kick and the bass is still very much so in the track, the bass frequencies. So we can shift click over on all of that and duplicate it, and basically we have our drop now as well. The difference between our drop and our build-up is that we are going to probably, there's a few different ways you can do it, but probably the easiest way is to put a EQ on the master. And what we'll do is take that breakdown and we're gonna high pass the bass. Put that on the master. Usually it'll be back here. The master. EQ8. And all I did there was hit the letter A on my keyboard. Letter A for automation. EQ8 is what we want. That's what we're working with here. Filter 1. We want to go to frequency. And what we'll do at the breakdown at 33, we're going to use our mouse to create a little breakpoint. We're going to do 2 bubbles, 1 and then 2, and then we're going to take the second one, we're going to move it up the line here to roughly about 120, I think, for now. And then we'll do the same thing over here, but the reverse. We'll take 1 click, second click. The second click, we're going to move it all the way back down. So now we have kind of that classic tech house bass bypassed kind of sound. Give it a listen. So you'll see too how we start to mix this and it starts to come together, but you can at least see for now we have an intro. We'll clean up all this, don't worry. We have an intro from 1 to 17, we have a bass line, and the vocals get introduced. Just for good measure for now, we'll call that vocals, because that's where the vocals come in. We have a breakdown, we have a build-up, which we're going to work on, and then we have a drop. We're already 2 minutes in right there. So, not too bad of a start for now. I'm trying to think if I want to keep arranging over or if I want to get into the nitty-gritty of creating the breakdown and the build-up. I think probably what we'll do is, just so it doesn't become too monotonous and so we allow ourselves some room for creation, we'll work on the breakdown and the build-up next.